Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Getting Started videos. This is part 2, and you'll notice that I've done a wardrobe change here, and that's basically because I'm talking to you with an edited version of this video that's pertinent directly to those of you that are taking this course during the 5-week summer session. You'll see in the announcements when you log on to this course for the first time that I say that successful online students in the summer course do a couple of things. First of all, they log into this course on an everyday basis, and they do something in this course on an everyday basis, whether that's do research for the paper, whether that's read a book chapter that's assigned for that day, whether that's begin to take notes for the upcoming exams, or whatever the case may be. So you cannot procrastinate in an online course over a 5-week period. You just have to get going and stay with it, and you should do fine. So let's look at some more particulars in terms of the semester. Check out the course website if you haven't already done so. You'll see that it's organized by weekly modules. You click on those. It takes you to what you should be doing each of the 5 weeks in the semester. There's an examination section. There's an examination tools section. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a while. There's a discussion section, which currently isn't active, but we'll talk more about that in a little while. There's a writing assignments section, and everything is located relative to writing assignments, for example, under that link. And so when I talk about some of these assignments coming up in just a few moments, that's where you go find those things. Log on to this course every Monday morning during the 5-week session. You'll see an email, and it's basically a summary of all the stuff that you need to be doing that week. It's my way of keeping in touch with you, and it's my way of cajoling you and pushing you and making sure that you're doing what you need to be doing in order to be successful. You'll note as you get into that website that some links are active and some aren't, and that's by design. I don't need you to go places that you don't need to go to yet. There's no sense in overwhelming you with a lot of information. Let's just kind of move on through this sequentially. I want you to print a copy of the syllabus. Now, folks, I know that your generation doesn't like to read. I know that. Okay, I've worked with 5 or 6 generations of undergraduate students, and your generation's particularly unmotivated about this. But print a copy of this syllabus and please read it, okay? It's my contract with you in terms of what your expectations are. And it'll answer a lot of questions for you as well. So read that syllabus and understand the expectations and grading and how things are weighted and the kinds of things you're going to have to do in the semester. So the syllabus is detailed for a reason, because I'm a detail-oriented type of guy. So read the syllabus thoroughly. I've also created, at the recommendation of previous students, a 1-page critical dates document. You can print this, you can keep this in your active space someplace, you can put it on your smartphone, and this is basically a 1-page summary, chronologically in order, of what happens when. Or you can enter those dates into your own calendar book or your own calendar electronic device, whatever the case may be. I think you'll find that useful. Then I want you to go into the website and explore those weekly modules for the schedule in terms of actually seeing what it is that we're going to be doing each week. I'll talk a little bit more about that. The textbook, and you need this version of the textbook to be successful. You cannot buy an older version of the textbook and stay current in terms of content relative to things like testing and discussion items. This is the textbook. It's by Pavlik and McIntosh, 2014, Converging Media, A New Introduction to Mass Communication. It's the third edition from Oxford University Press. You can buy the 2013-14 update, notice up here, and you'll be just fine. Now, we make this available for you in the bookstore in a binder, a 3-ring binder basis, because we can save you some dollars that way. So the book's available in the bookstore. You can get it online at various vendors. Just make sure that you get this particular edition of the textbook. There are 2 kinds of activities in the course. There are weekly activities, and there are first and second half of the semester activities. So we're talking like 5 weeks here. So there are stuff you need to be doing every week, and then there will be some things you'll do the first couple of weeks, and then the second couple of weeks. So let's look at those. Every week activities. Every chapter has a corresponding short lecture from me, a little video that I talk about complementing, supplementing, and sometimes adding to the content of that chapter. So you should watch that video first, because I think it sets the tone and frames the chapter you're going to read. Then there, of course, are the assigned chapter readings. Now, in a 5-week session, we have 15 chapters. So you can anticipate needing to read 3 chapters a week. So you read one Monday, you read one Tuesday, you read one Wednesday, you review on Thursday, and you test on Friday. Each chapter has a self-administered media quiz found in the chapter itself, with answers in the back of that chapter. I do not need you to take these quizzes. This is optional. This is self-assessment on your part. You do not send me the answers to your quiz items. There's no scoring of these. They're not part of grading. It's just a self-assessment tool to see how you're doing. Okay. Every Friday we have an exam, with one exception, and that's July 3rd when we do it on Thursday. Each exam is one 40-question, 80-point, so each item is worth 2 points, online multiple choice exam. There are 5 exams. Exam 1, 2, 3, and 5 are on Fridays. Exam 4, because we get into the July 4th weekend, is on that Thursday, July 3rd. Now, if you go to the exams area of the tools for you, as you click on those links, you'll see something called the Exam Question Bank. Folks, the better students in this class go to that Exam Question Bank and discover, oh boy, this really helps me in terms of my performance in the semester. Every possible question on the exams is included in the Exam Question Bank. Not the answers, but the questions. Now, nobody takes the same exam in this class. I draw from a pool of 25 or 30 questions from each chapter, and those questions are randomly generated for each individual. But those questions, I guarantee you, are on the study guide. So what smart students do is basically start with chapter 1, get the exam question bank out, pull it up, print it up, do whatever you do, and then begin to study and read that chapter and listen to my lecture notes or my lecture videos and begin to fill in the answers to those items. And better students do quite well in exams as a result. So use that exam question bank. There are no makeup exams in this class, folks. None. None. Okay? There's no reason for it. First of all, the exams open at 6 in the morning and they close at midnight. They're open all day on Fridays or that Thursday, July 3rd. They're available globally. So if you're traveling, if you're vacationing, go find an internet kiosk. Go find a wireless connection. Just make sure you're working off of a reliable computer. Now, if you're in business, if you're engaged in family activities that are going to take you away during an exam day, I will administer exams early, but I need to know in advance. So those of you who anticipate one or more conflicts, simply let me know. And of course, if you have a learning disability that we need to know about, we of course will accommodate you in ways that we typically do for students with those kinds of issues. So no makeups provided, none, nada, niched, all right? Don't even try. All right. Testing, of course, is approximately 66% of your grade in the semester. That's why we want to give you as many tools as possible to be successful. Well, I don't know why this didn't come up sequentially, but let's talk about first half of semester activities, roughly the first 3 weeks in the semester. When you watch this video, and hopefully you're watching this the week before or the week of the first semester of the 5-week session, the first thing you need to do is get yourself into that writing tools or writing skills or writing assignments component part of the course. Click on that and read about the writing skills exercise. This is a non-graded exercise, but if you don't do it, you're messed up for the rest of the semester in terms of ability to turn in written assignments. So the writing skills exercise is a tool that I use to help you brush up on grammar and punctuation and spelling and those kinds of things. It's self-explanatory. There are documents in that part of the course that talk about how to do it. You can take this whenever you want. And the thing is, you have to submit a successful version of this where you score 90 percentile or better no later than the end of the first week in the semester, that Friday evening at midnight. If I don't have a writing skills exercise from you, I'm going to lock you out of the capacity to be able to turn in the written essay that's due a week later. So your grades are already messed up for the semester if you don't do that. So this isn't about punitive behavior and deadlines. This is about making sure that you're writing well, because we're continuing to see, I just read an article yesterday where employers in the professions are still placing writing high, very high in terms of what they need from entry-level workers. Okay, the second week, we need a 100-point, 250 to 500-word essay submitted online. All right, do that Friday. This is available to you. You can start it right now. You can read about what the assignment is, and you can get going on this. You can brush up on your writing skills by successfully completing the writing skills exercise by Friday. That should put you in really good shape to finish up what you need to finish up in terms of that essay due the following Friday. So orientation, evaluation documents for all this stuff are now available. You just need to see the assignments tool link at the home page in order to get going. And I'll be reminding you. Again, remember, no late submissions. This is non-negotiable with Web Campus, as those of you who are experienced with Web Campus courses know. I set a deadline electronically. There's no quibbling with the computer or with the system in terms of your ability to turn in something at 12:01 a.m. the day after the assignment's due. So let's just get in the habit of delivering on deadline. Second half of semester activities. Well, we continue with those examinations, of course, but we'll have 2 online discussions. The first is during week 3-4, basically, and that's kind of we get you into groups, you get to know each other, you kind of chit-chat back and forth for a little while, get comfortable with each other and the online discussion tool protocols, how to use the discussion group stuff in Web Campus. And then after that, we set you on a second graded discussion that covers the 4th and 5th weeks. I'll assign discussion groups beginning the beginning of the 3rd week and provide you with more information at that point. You can't get into discussions right now because we're not doing that quite yet. All right, there are complete orientation and evaluation criteria provided when we get into the groups, just like I do with the written assignments. There should be no surprises here. Basically, the group will discuss and engage a topic relative to media studies. And again, you're graded over time on this in terms of the incremental way you contribute to your group's discussion, but there are no points for late submissions when you do this. Okay, final words. I will always send a Monday memo. I'm involved in this course. I'm here regularly during the summer. I have a reputation in online courses from previous students. They'll tell you he seems involved. He seems engaged. He's paying attention to what we're doing. He communicates. He responds quickly to emails, that kind of thing. There's no extra credit. There's no need to, folks. Generally, only poor students really ask for extra credit because they haven't done what they needed to do in the first place. It's rare, but occasionally the really good student will come in and say, I want to learn more about this topic. What can you get me? And what can you recommend? And I have all kinds of stuff in my office or online that I can recommend. Look, we know that legitimate, provable emergencies do happen, but you have to notify me in advance. Folks, you live with cell phones in your hands. You are in contact nearly 24/7 with everybody else in your social sphere. Okay, you can let your dear old professor know that something's going on with you as well. Okay, there's no excuses there. Plagiarism, don't do it. Plagiarism is using someone else's paper as your own in this class. Guess what? We have tools that catch that stuff. Plagiarism is copying and pasting stuff from the internet and representing it as your own work. First of all, it looks odd when you're quoting some nuclear physicist and representing his writing as your own, his or her writing. Plagiarism, don't even try. Brush up on UNLV policies at the Student Code of Conduct office online if you have concerns. Here's how you contact me. You can call my office. If you're on campus, you can call my extension. Those of you who work as work-study students may know what I'm talking about. Use Web Campus email within this class to contact me. My office hours are Fridays. I'll be around mid-morning to early afternoon. That's a time when a lot of folks take the exam, and that's when I'm available to kind of monitor and make sure the exam's going okay on my end. But feel free to come in and pop in, say hi. If you have questions about the course, those office hours will start Friday of the first week of the semester. I advise that you make an appointment. Just email me in advance and say, are you available? I generally am, and I will make myself always available to students, but just make sure that I don't have other students scheduled at that time. You can see the syllabus for more details. I'm basically in Greenspun Hall on the 2nd floor all the way down in the JMS programs department hallway, last one on the right. I'm the one that has the great view of In-N-Out Hamburgers and Maryland Parkway looking south.